Other questions? Representative Matthews.
Just one real quick, Mr. Chair, and thank you for the opportunity. I know time is short, and thanks for coming. To everybody, thank you all for coming and spending your day in the Capitol. When we talk about the negotiations piece of this and how it would all work out, and I'm a little uncomfortable, obviously, getting involved in that negotiation, but I think we can work through and have a discussion about that on another day. But it would be my understanding that this would be a cost passed on to a consumer. Would you agree with that? Let's say, for an example, that the deal's negotiated. DirecTV now carries the Blazer cable or the Comcast, the Sports Northwest package and Blazer cable. Would you anticipate a rate increase for DirecTV? Is that, I know you can't comment on that, but they would certainly have to pay for it somewhere. Is that going to get passed on to consumers? Because then I could see where we get involved and now we say, well, now the fans are upset because they're not getting it for free. They now have increased their dish price. So where are we at there getting involved in that fight as well? It's a question if you would entertain, I'd appreciate it.
I can't speak to what DirecTV or what any cable or satellite provider, what they do with their pricing. I can comment on what I've observed over the years of selling services, and sometimes you'll see a service provider pass on the price. Sometimes you'll see a service provider change the packages and the tenants in those packages. You see them do a lot of different things, some that result in a price increase, some that don't result in a price increase.
Okay, Mr. Chair, just a quick follow-up comment, please. Last meeting I made somewhat of a flippant remark, and I do apologize. I'd made the comment that the timing of this might have something to do with the Marcus Camby trade. But quite honestly, I understand what it is that we're trying to do for people, where our fans want to watch the Blazers, and I get that. If nothing more than having this hearing is to put people to the table to get them back into negotiations of making this happen for the fan, then I think we've succeeded there as well. I don't know what our role is going to be, Mr. Chair, and I don't know what the intent of this committee will be, but I think the discussion today is a good one to have. Thanks for coming.
Well, thank you, and I might add just a comment on that. I think the reason this informational hearing came forward is simply because I didn't hear it from just one person, but several people who have had concerns over the years about having access to programming, and I thought as an informational hearing, certainly it's in the purview for us to listen to the people of Oregon who want some answers to some of these things. And I don't know that we have any authority in this, but certainly it's in our purview to have a discussion. And I am a true believer in listening to people who want to talk about issues, whether or not any one of us may agree with that or not.
Can I have one last comment, Mr. Chair?
Representative Riley.
I'm the biggest Blazer fan up here.
Oh.
Last comment.
So, I appreciate you making yourself available, and there's a lot of questions that I think have been out there. I mean, that haven't quite been answered. A couple of them, and I don't know what your contract involved with the Blazers was. There was talk about making this Blazer games, or whether it's Duck games or whatever, widely available. And from what I'm hearing from you, you've made those efforts in offering your packages to providers, and some say that those haven't really been at arm's length transactions, but we don't have the ability to tell whether or not they are or not, and whether that's even our role. It's and I've also heard talk about making games available online for online streaming on your computer. How does that work, and how would you deal with a contract with an internet provider to make that available to the individuals out there who may want to go on the web and watch a game if they can pay for it, with a credit card online right at that instant? Is that it seems like that technology should be out there. I mean, is that an option, or is there any discussion about making that available so I can go to Google and go onto a website and pay a couple bucks and watch a Blazer game, or God forbid, an Oregon State University game?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, there is a lot of discussion of that. Currently, to my knowledge, there's about 4 professional sports teams that are streaming their games. The important note to note on that is that who they're streaming them to and is in conjunction with the television video provider, and in all those instances, they're only streaming those games to people who have subscribed to that TV service. So they're doing it as an added portability feature. They're not doing it to expand the distribution.
Are you going to do that?
Pardon me?
Are you going to do that?
We would look to do that, but again, when we did do it, it would be on a what's called authenticated basis, like the other sports teams have. So it would be a portability feature. It wouldn't be to necessarily expand the distribution.
So you wouldn't be able to do it like I could just log into Google and find a website somewhere and pay for it, and no matter what provider I was with.
Not correct.
Interesting. Well, any other questions or comments?
I can do it in 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
I think we should start working on a couple options that we bring to the full session, which gives you 10 months, right? It gives you 9 months, and you've had 3 years, haven't gotten it done, but hopefully another 9, 10 months is, get something done. And we ought to have a few options queued up and ready next time we get together.
13. That was 15. I got 15 seconds. Oh. Yeah.